So you'll notice here, I measured the angle with a very high grit, 800 grit stone. The reason is because this knife is relatively sharp. And as a sharpener, your goal should be to try to preserve the knife as much as possible. Every time you're sharpening it, you're removing steel, and you don't want to just be removing steel for the sake of removing steel. So I'm going to try this. If it doesn't work, I can always go back and resharpen it, but I'm just going to start at 800 because I was able to develop a burr. I'm able to feel it. And so I'm going to go ahead and just sharpen it from 800, 1000, 1500, 2200, and then strop, and we'll see how that performance goes. I took a still shot before I started this, and I was able to get, I tested this on the BESS tester, and it was around 330 something. So what would be considered sharp by all but very discerning folks, and if you're trying to perform a task like cut a slice of tomato, and actually trying to cube the tomato, you need to have a very sharp blade for that. So let's go ahead. And I'm just going to keep working through this, but I just wanted to give you guys an update as to why I'm doing it that way. I know it's not something you typically see, and it's not something I'm not sure how many people do, because sometimes it's not the extra effort. I mean, you do run the risk that you might have to sharpen this twice. In my case, I don't really mind if I can preserve a knife, and if I take a few extra minutes, to sharpen it, maybe a second time if need be, but I give it that chance to get by with one sharpening. That's what I would want if I was the person receiving the service. So I know time is money and all that, but at the end of the day, we're all in service to other people. So by the way, this is a Misen knife. Seems pretty decent. I like the feel of it. This is its second time being sharpened though. And that seems, so edge retention might not be where I would expect it to be. But then again, I sharpened it at this is at 17 degrees. So maybe it's a tad aggressive for the steel. No. Now we're on to 1500. I'm spending a little bit more time on this right-hand side because I can just feel something. It's like a click. And you'll see I'm moving around the stone, the blade, to see if it's in the blade or if it's in the stone, because sometimes it's hard to tell where that feeling is coming from. But oh man, this is getting sharp. So those of you that work on a wicked edge, you're going to be familiar with this. For those of you that aren't, it's pretty cool. It's like all of a sudden you hit a point where there is like noticeably less friction with the stone, and it feels like the stone is just skating along, like you're skating on glass or ice. It's something else. I mean, yeah, this is really sharp. Okay, well, we'll see if that worked. So this probably isn't on camera, so let me walk back over there and show you. Yeah, I'm barely putting anything into this knife. And of course, there we go. Okay, so that is plenty sharp. I'll give it a light stropping just in case there's any parts of that burr that need to be removed, or the wire, or whatever you want to call it. Even better. So, man, if you don't own a strop yet, you need to get one. If you're not stropping clients' knives before you return them, you're doing them a disservice, because their knife, even if you got sharp, it could be that much sharper. So this is pretty good. One thing that I like and don't like about this is that it's not showing up. This came with that wide bevel there. It looks way worse on camera than what it actually is. This is the cutting edge. There. It is, yeah, never mind. It's not showing up on camera. It's just a slight bit wider at the tip than it is. It's just a little bit uneven from the factory, which, that's the type of stuff you care about on a $700 plus knife, not something you care about on a production knife. So that being said, pretty good for a production knife. But we'll have to see about that edge retention. Like I said, it's the second time I've had to sharpen it in under a year, that's quite a bit. All right, we'll pick this up when I get to the next one.